On a misty morning in Kentucky, the wind still whispers through the trees that line the old Millbrook Inn. The air hangs heavy with memory, with voices from a time long gone, and with the faint scent of sorrow that seems to have soaked into the soil itself. People drive past that quiet road today, never knowing that beneath their wheels lies a story buried in 43 unmarked graves. It is said that once, those who visited the Millbrook Inn were welcomed not with suspicion, but with kindness. Sister Cunningham, as she was known, greeted every traveler like kin. Her voice was soft, her presence calming, her eyes alive with faith. She was a woman who offered bread to the hungry, prayer to the weary, and love to the stranger who had nowhere else to turn. But love, even when pure, can lead to tragedy when the world around it is poisoned by greed and fear. The year was 1847, and the small town of Millbrook seemed far removed from the chaos of the world. Yet behind the warm glow of the inn's windows, behind the hymns that floated from Sister Cunningham's chapel, something darker was stirring. They said travelers came, but never left. They said the soil behind the inn was too soft, too often turned. And yet, no one dared to question Sister Cunningham, the woman who fed the hungry, who prayed with the broken, who preached of mercy and redemption. She was the heart of Millbrook, and no one wanted to believe she could also be its shadow. The first grave was found by accident. A boy chasing a rabbit stumbled upon bones, small, fragile, and old. Then another, and another. By the time the sheriff arrived, the count had reached 43. 43 souls who had once been welcomed with open arms, who had dined beneath her roof, who had been promised safety. What happened to them? The records are sparse, the testimonies conflicting. Some say Sister Cunningham went mad after losing her family to fever. Some say she believed she was saving souls from the corruption of the world. Others whisper she was never who she claimed to be at all, that she had run from another name, another life, another sin. And yet, even in the archives, her letters reveal a haunting tenderness. She wrote of love, of redemption, of sacrifice. She wrote, "They come broken, I mend them. They come empty, I fill them. And when they are ready, I send them home." But what did she mean by home? Heaven, or the grave? Those who study her story call her a mystery of faith and madness. A woman who blurred the line between mercy and murder. She prayed over the dead with the same gentle voice she used to bless the living. She lit candles for their souls, believing perhaps she had freed them from pain. The townsfolk refused to believe it for years. They built myths to protect themselves. Stories that the dead were travelers who succumbed to illness, that Sister Cunningham buried them out of compassion, that the inn was a sanctuary, not a slaughterhouse. But the earth beneath Millbrook never forgets. On nights when the fog curls low and the moon is a pale ghost, locals swear they hear hymns carried on the wind. A woman's voice, soft, mournful, singing of grace and forgiveness. And in the silence between notes, they feel the weight of 43 forgotten souls. It's a chilling story, but not one without meaning. For beneath its darkness lies a question that pierces through time. How far can love go before it becomes something else entirely? When does compassion cross the line into control? When does saving become destroying? Sister Cunningham's story is not simply one of horror. It's a reflection of humanity's fragile balance between good and evil, between devotion and delusion. She offered love, yes, but love without understanding can be as dangerous as hate. Imagine her, there, in that candlelit room, praying over each body, whispering that she had done God's will. Imagine her believing she had delivered them to peace. What faith can twist the heart so tightly that mercy and murder share the same name? The Millbrook Inn still stands, though time has eaten at its bones. Its walls creak like they remember. Its floors sigh like they mourn. The portraits have faded, but one image remains, Sister Cunningham, standing tall, her hands folded, her eyes unreadable. Visitors come, driven by curiosity or faith, and some leave small crosses by the graves. Others bring flowers. A few bring only questions. The air there feels sacred and cursed all at once. It is said that Sister Cunningham never fled, never denied. When they came for her, she knelt by her chapel door, praying. "Judge me not," she whispered, "for I loved them all." Perhaps she did. Perhaps her love was too much for a broken world to understand. And perhaps that's the tragedy of Millbrook, the story of a woman who believed too deeply, who gave too freely, who mistook deliverance for devotion. The grass has grown over those graves now, but every blade seems to carry a whisper of kindness gone astray, of faith without reason, of love that forgot its limits. When we speak of Sister Cunningham, we do not only speak of a woman. We speak of the danger of blind faith, the thin line between healing and harm, the eternal hunger for meaning that can consume even the purest heart. Her story reminds us that not all saints wear halos, and not all devils come with horns. Sometimes, they are the same person, standing in the same room, praying the same prayer. The 43 graves are not just a mystery, they are a mirror. A mirror held up to humanity's endless struggle between light and shadow. Each time the wind passes through Millbrook, it carries a lesson, that love, without truth, can bury more than it saves. And maybe that's what Sister Cunningham wanted us to understand, not through her words, but through the silence that lingers in the soil she tended. For in those quiet Kentucky hills, the story of 1847 still breathes, soft and sorrowful. It tells us that the past is never truly gone, that mercy can hide behind madness, that the hand offering comfort can also close into a fist. And as we remember the 43 who never left, we remember too that history is not made by monsters or saints, but by people, flawed, yearning, and lost between heaven and earth. So when you hear of Sister Cunningham, don't just think of the graves. Think of the hearts that believed, the prayers that echoed, the love that turned to ruin. Because in the end, the story of Millbrook Inn is the story of us all, seeking to do good, stumbling in the dark, leaving behind the echoes of our choices for time to judge. That is where our journey begins today, with a woman who offered love to visitors, and a field that holds the price of that love. In the heart of Kentucky, where the earth remembers, and faith still trembles, 43 graves whisper her name. And if you listen closely, so will you.